What's up, everyone? It's Craig, and I'm back with my second movie for the month of October. If you watched yesterday's review, we touched on something a little bit newer, Spider-Hole, 2010. For today's, I wanted to go with an older school movie that, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't all that familiar with. It might have been a movie poster that I had seen that I thought looked cool, and I wound up flipping through Shudder, and it was one of the newer ones they had to Shudder. I'm like, you know what? Let me give this a try. So today we're doing Hide and Go Shriek, which the poster art alone was very cool. Like, it actually is something that I would hang on my wall. Although the poster art itself, if you watch the movie, you know it really contradicts itself some. Still, a cool picture. This movie actually has a lot of nuances to it that you'd be surprised to find in what was late 80s slasher, meaning they tried pumping them out. I mean, if you've seen any of the documentaries done stemming from Friday the 13th, you know once that success came, then all of a sudden, once Nightmare on Elm Street success came, you just start seeing more and more. Some of them were good, some of them one-offs. This is one that I think definitely fell through the cracks because it's not something I see referenced all that often. But after watching it, I'm not going to say it's the greatest movie in the world. So far, the ones we've done, Spider-Hole still beats it out, in my opinion. But for what it is, it's really cool because it goes against trope. Okay? And to me, that's something. There's a lot of expected things to happen in horror movies. There's expected who dies first, who survives, who dies last, how many people die, how many people live, who's the killer, etc. Now, it does give in to some, but a lot of them aren't expected as well. The premise of this movie is a group of teens looking to party decide to sneak in to one of the friend's father's furniture showroom and warehouse, which is multi-tiered. So think it's more like a Sears type building, not just a furniture showroom. But they decide to break in. Everyone's coupled off, so you can imagine, where we're heading there. But in addition to the random drinking and some attempted successful and some unsuccessful attempts at sex, and for the unsuccessful, unfortunately, you'll see they go very quickly in the beginning, which is a spoil, but not really, because I'm not telling you who they are. It was good. It was odd that they decided to play hide and go seek, which they tried to do themselves, which may or may not lead to problems. But aside from aside from the kids, you were introduced to a couple other characters. You were introduced to a random guy in a coat who you really didn't see. You just knew he was into makeup and special effects of sorts, and he just randomly killed a woman in an alley. Wasn't connected to anything else. I guess it's just so you see, okay, there's some badass person out there. And you also got introduced to an ex-con who's now working security in the furniture warehouse. And he's also living on the premises, so you can go to see what happens there. I liked his character because it does become somewhat of a red herring. So I will give you that much. He's not the one doing what people think he's doing. He has a connection to it, but he's not the one who does it. As far as the kills, because that's what a lot of the 80s stuff comes to. Like, you're not necessarily expecting, and this, by the way, was Skip Skolnick, was the director who, I believe this was his only, I think this was the only main big movie he directed, and it's not necessarily that big, but he did do Beyond Belief, Fact and Fiction, the series. He also was a director on the Angel series, which I was a fan of. I know stuff like that isn't everybody's fun, but I thought it was well done. I thought a lot of it was well done anyway. But as far as what this movie, the kills were really, they were sparse, but they were good. You saw, I guess that'll spoil, a drowning in the sink. The practical effects on that were really well done, kind of with a camera shot out. You saw an impalement, and the impalement was the only time it really got me a little bit, and I don't mean got me as in scared me or I jumped, but it got me because it gave the killer like superhuman strength, because he's holding the guy high above his head, and then that's a little far-fetched, especially when you'll ultimately see the build of the kill later on. You also saw an impalement with a mannequin piece, and the other was an elevated decapitation. But that was it for the victims. There was somebody else in there who you'll see. But aside from that, like at least the ones you saw on camera, it was good. It was fun. More people lived than you think, because I said there were a bunch of couples and I only gave you 4 kills. That's all there were. Of the main people, there were only 4 people that died. You factor in the blonde in the beginning who you really didn't know in the alleyway. You factor in a couple of people, one who was done off camera, and then the mystery one. You know, that's it. So you didn't get a huge bloodbath in this one, but it was nicely shot. Now the characters were very one note. You know, you had the virgin, or you had the person scared of, I don't know what I should do. You had the Max Headroom looking character. You know, you had the guy who sort of reminded, I actually think he was the kid from the Karate Kid movies. You know, not Ralph Macchio, one of the other ones. But I don't know, it was good. For what it was good. And again, it's on Shudder. If you have Shudder, listen, I have Shudder. I think Shudder's a lot of fun. You know, Shudder has a good selection, and for what you pay a month for it, I definitely get really good value out of it. So I recommend it if you're looking to get horror movies, and you don't have the ability to torrent or go to some of the little websites. I don't, because my computer setup isn't the greatest, as I mention all the time on these things. That's why I'm recording right now on my phone. I have a decent light though, so you can actually see me. But again, told you on these video series, I'm only doing thumbs up and thumbs down for the most of them. And again, this one, I'm going to give a thumbs up. I think it's worth seeing. I think if you've never seen it, you'll get a big kick out of it, especially if you're a fan of the slasher movies. Okay, if you're more ghosts or creatures or things, and maybe it's not for you. Maybe you'll have some problems with it. I will also say it's somewhat ahead of its time when you think about some of the major issues in society. And that's all I'll say about that, because I don't want to spoil anything. But you know, it sort of has that Sleepaway Camp-esque type of twist, but obviously nowhere to that extent. There's only one free throw, there's only one Andrew in that regard. But that is October 2nd. Today's October 2nd. Movie was Hide and Go Shriek. Again, as I said, if you have seen it and you agree, disagree, comment down below. Let me get some feedback. And if you watch it, come back after you see it and let me know what you think. Thanks a lot, everybody. Catch me tomorrow.